If we don't come together right now on this hollow ground, we too will be destroyed. Just like they were.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Film Vault, where today we're going to be counting down 20 insane facts about the 2000 classic Remember the Titans. We'll have a deep dive into the behind-the-scenes secrets, the wild casting stories, the intense training camps, and all the shocking details that you might not know. But before we get to it, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Number 20. Back in 1996, Gregory Allen Howard moved back east to Alexandria, Virginia after having worked for years in Hollywood as a screenwriter. There, he heard the locals talk about the 1971 T.C. Williams Titans, describing that football season as a moment which changed their city. Inspired by the stories, Howard wrote the screenplay on spec, believing that it was a story that was worth telling. But when he shopped it around, every single studio passed on it. Disney even rejected the script multiple times, and producer Chad Oman has said that he submitted it to Disney on 3 separate occasions before they finally said yes. In that moment, it seemed like the movie might never get made. By the late 1990s, true sports stories were becoming box office hits. Studios finally realized the types of films that could inspire people and make money, and that's when Disney gave Remember the Titans a chance. Interestingly, the script they eventually approved was almost exactly the same one that they had turned down before.
We leave for camp, Gettysburg College, August 15th, 7:29 a.m. If you report at 7:30, you will not be playing football this season, you will be watching.
Number 19. Before filming began, producer Jerry Bruckheimer pushed Denzel Washington to meet with the real coach Herman Boone. At first, Washington wasn't sure about the role. He had just played Hurricane Carter in The Hurricane and didn't want to take on another real-life role so soon. He then decided to go and have a meeting that was tense from the start. Washington would later describe it as prickly. Boone did not hold back. At one point, Boone even told Washington he didn't think that he was handsome enough to play him. Even though the meeting was rough, Washington took on the role and brought Coach Boone's story to life on the screen. Over time, the two men grew to respect each other, and the effort paid off in a big way. Denzel's performance would earn him the Outstanding Actor in a Motion Picture Award at the NAACP Image Awards.
We are changed. We're going to change the way we run. We're going to change the way we eat. We're going to change the way we block. We're going to change the way we tackle.
Number 18. Remember the Titans is based on the 1971 T.C. Williams High School football team in Alexandria, Virginia. The school had actually been integrated since 1965, and in 1971, the merger of 3 schools took place. The relationship between coaches Herman Boone and Bill Yost was made more dramatic in the movie for storytelling purposes. The 1971 Titans were not underdogs. They went undefeated at 13-0 and finished the season ranked 2nd in the nation. The team wasn't struggling anywhere near as much as the movie made it seem. Number 17. The real 1971 Titans don't have a player named Alan Bosley. His role was created to show how the team grew closer and became more selfless over time. One key moment is when he gives up his spot for Petey. Ryan Gosling had played the character even though he was only 19 years old at the time. He'd already appeared in shows like the Mickey Mouse Club and Young Hercules before landing the role. At the time of filming, he was early in his career. It was only his second feature film, following a small role in the 1996 Canadian film Frankenstein and Me. For most of the Remember the Titans, he was in the background except for the scene where he gave up his position. Gosling would later joke in an interview that he didn't have to act much because Denzel Washington did most of the intense yelling on set. Fast forward 6 years, and Gosling earned his first Oscar nomination for Half Nelson. Number 16. Burgess Jenkins plays Ray Buds, a racist player, and in the film he gets kicked off the team in the middle of the season. It's a strong moment where Jerry stands up for what's right, even against a friend. But the truth is that none of it happened. Ray Buds was never real, he was created for the movie. When real members of the Titans were asked about this, they all agreed on one thing. If somebody like Ray had acted that way, he wouldn't have lasted past training camp. He would have been cut long before the season even began. The entire storyline was created for the movie to add tension.
What was that, Ray? Whatever it is, it ain't blocking. Give me a break. You want a break? I'll give you a break. Me and Julius want a break.
Number 15. That intense 3 a.m. scene where Coach Boone wakes up the team, takes them running through the dark, and gives a powerful speech was created just for the film and not something that the real 1971 team ever experienced. Filmmakers added it in to show the team growing closer and to make the story more emotional. The real Titans did train at Gettysburg College, but their experience was not as tense or dramatic as the movie shows. Their integration and unity did not happen overnight, and certainly not during a single late-night run. It was a gradual process that would take time, effort, and patience.
Wake up, gentlemen. It's late. It's 3 a.m. in the morning. All right, listen up. You will follow Doc, myself, and the other coaches. We're going to take a little run through the woods.
Number 14. With the state championship on the line, the film shows the Titans battling until the very last play. They trail at halftime, fight back in the fourth quarter, and pull off a trick play to win in dramatic fashion, but that's not how it really happened. The real 1971 team completely dominated their opponent, Andrew Lewis High School, and the final score would be 27-0. The truth is, they were unstoppable. They went 13-0 that season, shutting out 9 other teams and outscoring opponents by a wide margin all season. Northern Virginia Magazine puts the total at 265-31, and even running back Charles Mitchell would admit there were more than a few times he felt genuinely sorry for the teams that they played. Number 13. In the film, Jerry Bertier's car crash leaves him paralyzed just before the championship game, but that's not how it really happened. The real accident took place after the big game on December 11th of 1971. By that time, the Titans had already made history and gone undefeated, winning the state championship. Jerry even played every snap of that final game, and on the night of the car crash, the team was at a banquet celebrating their incredible season, and Bertier had just been honored as the most valuable defensive player. He had borrowed his mother's brand new 71 Chevy Camaro, and on the way home, tragedy struck. He would lose control of the car, and investigators determined it wasn't his fault. A mechanical failure in the Camaro's engine mounts caused him to lose control, and Jerry had been with friends earlier that night but had just dropped them off and was alone in the car for the final 6 blocks when the car crashed. The accident will leave him paralyzed from the waist down. Number 12. After the accident, Jerry Bertier faced the impossible and chose to fight back. Months after his crash, he turned to wheelchair sports. He joined the wheelchair track and field team and even became part of the U.S. Wheelchair Basketball League. He pushed further on, setting his sights on the Paralympics, and actually won, becoming a 2-time gold medalist while taking gold in both shot put and discus. He broke the state and national records along the way. Coach Bill Yost was right there the whole time, and after the accident, he stayed by Bertier's side. The bond that they had built on the football field turned into something even greater. Yost had coached him through the transition from being a football star to a Paralympic athlete, and Bertier kept breaking barriers. But then tragedy struck again. March 20th of 1981, at 27 years old, he was returning home from a business trip when his car was struck head-on by a drunk driver who crossed the center lane. He would be pronounced dead 2 hours later at the University of Virginia Hospital. Number 11. The brick scene in Remember the Titans was a softened version of what really happened. In real life, vandals threw an entire toilet through Coach Boone's window. The hateful act happened after his family had moved into a new neighborhood. Disney changed that detail in the movie, feeling that depicting an actual toilet flying through the window would be too jarring for a family film. Coach Boone spoke about that night in the DVD commentary, explaining why the change bothered him. He said there wasn't a brick thrown through the window, it was more devastating to any human being than a brick could be. He said he's never been able to move past that evening, or even understand how someone could feel so much hatred toward another person as to do something so degrading.
Hey, Coach Coon!
Number 10. The film shows T.C. Williams High School integrating in 1971 as if it were a brand new event full of conflict, but it's simply not true. The school had been integrated since 1965. In 1971, there was a merger between 3 schools, and this created a brand new football team with players from the 3 already integrated schools. The real Ronnie Sunshine Bass addressed this directly in an interview with the Greenville News, saying that the community had been divided down black and white, and it really wasn't like that. Patrick Welsh, a teacher at T.C. Williams and friend of Bill Yost, echoed the same point in the Washington Post, saying that the film had greatly exaggerated the racial animosities and fears that existed in the school and the community. Number 9. The school was named after Thomas Chambliss Williams. He served as superintendent of Alexandria schools from 1933 to 1963, but he was also a strong opponent of racial integration. The building where Coach Boone inspires change in the movie carries the name of the man who certainly would have opposed hiring him. It's not a small detail, yet the film doesn't mention it. Williams retired before the school opened in 1965, but it was named in order to honor his career, one that stood firmly against integration, the very thing the school would later symbolize. The irony adds another layer to the story. The school was meant to bring in unity, yet it carried the name of someone who had fought against the idea, a fact that most people outside of Alexandria don't even know. Number 8. The character of Cheryl Yost, the daughter of Coach Bill, plays an important role in the film. Coach Yost himself is portrayed by Will Patton, but he didn't have one daughter in real life. He actually had 4. The filmmakers chose to only show Cheryl in the movie to keep the focus on the main story without introducing extra characters that would have made the plot harder to follow. The choice would leave out an important part of Coach Yost's personal life. After their parents' divorce, all 4 of the daughters live with their mother, Betty, and though Cheryl was the only one who often attended football games with their dad. The change did not sit well with the real Coach Yost, and during the DVD commentary, he shared that he wasn't happy about being portrayed as having only one daughter. It was a detail he wished had been closer to reality.
Is trying to take away your daddy's future place in the hall.
You can't just walk in here and take my daddy's job away!
Is enough, Cheryl. It's enough.
Number 7. The young actress Hayden Panettiere was just 10 years old when she starred in her role as Cheryl Yost in Remember the Titans. She was born in August of '89 and played the football-loving daughter of Coach Bill. She held her own alongside big names like Denzel Washington, and even at that age, her performance made her stand out in a cast full of stars. It wouldn't be her first big role, though. By the time she appeared in Remember the Titans, she had already been in soap operas and voiced a character in A Bug's Life. Her talent was easy to see, and her role as Cheryl was an important part of the movie's story. The performance became a big moment in her career, helping her to succeed later on, including in the popular show Heroes.
You ain't doing nothing against that shotgun. Look, Coach, now ain't the time to be proud.
Number 6. Ethan Suplee played Louis Lastic in Remember the Titans, and at age 24, he weighed in the neighborhood of 530 pounds, which would be close to his heaviest in life. Louis was the big and gentle presence on the team who didn't care about race and treated everyone equal. Fans loved him for his easygoing nature and positive attitude. But while bringing the character to life, he was facing a personal struggle off-screen that few knew about. Ever since then, Ethan has undergone an incredible transformation, losing over 250 pounds, and is now nearly unrecognizable from the Louis that audiences remember. His transformation would change his career in unexpected ways. He said that casting directors didn't know how to place him anymore because he looked so different. Today, he speaks openly about his past and hosts a podcast called American Glutton, where he talks about his health.
I got a C+ average, Coach. I'm going to college. Fantastic.
Number 5. The rival coach Herb Terrell was not real. Played by Brett Rice, he was written as a racist coach to add more tension to the story, including the big moment when Coach Boone throws a banana to Tyrell in front of his all-white team. It never happened either and was added for drama. The plot about crooked referees trying to make the Titans lose was made up. The real Coach Boone did mention some bad calls during the season, admitting that some of them may have been racially motivated. However, there was nothing as extreme as a rigged game plan. The movie needed villains to drive the conflict, so a rival coach, unfair referees, and a fixed game were all added for drama. The real Titans did not face any of these specific challenges. Filmmakers created the moments to fit the classic underdog story. Number 4. The music that plays at the end of the film, Titan Spirit, was written by Trevor Rabin. He wasn't always a film composer. He began as a rock guitarist, joining the band Yes in 1983. While with the band, he helped write their hit song Owner of a Lonely Heart, which became a #1 in the US. He would later leave the band to focus on making music for films, working on big ones like Con Air, Armageddon, and National Treasure. He's also in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, inducted in 2017 as part of Yes, and played classics like Owner of a Lonely Heart at the ceremony. Titan Spirit went on to become one of his most recognizable pieces, used everywhere from sports broadcasts to political conventions. Number 3. Wood Harris had put everything into getting his role as Julius Campbell. To prepare, he studied the real Julius Campbell, one of the key players in the '71 football team that had helped break down racial barriers during a deeply divided time. Harris wanted to honor the legacy and worked hard to make sure that his portrayal reflected the real story. Wood Harris was 30 years old when he played the role of a high school senior, yet he pulled it off so well, you would think he was actually 18. He later joked it wasn't that hard, since he pretty much was 18 anyway in his mentality during filming. Number 2. Remember the Titans was made on a $30 million budget, but the movie made waves at the box office. It earned an incredible $136.8 million worldwide, most of which came from the United States alone. When it hit the theaters in September of 2000, it opened as the #1 film, making $26.6 million in its first weekend, and stayed in the top 5 for 6 weeks straight. Before that, Disney had been hesitant about inspirational sports dramas, but the movie proved that the formula works, and its success lit the spark for Disney to go all in on the genre. Over the next 15 years, they released movies like The Rookie, Miracle, and McFarlane USA. Critics were not all fans of Remember the Titans at first, even one calling the dialogue corny, cliché, and downright cheesy. But over time, it would earn its place as one of the greatest sports films of all time. Number 1. Remember the Titans has been shown in American schools for over 2 decades to help students understand important cultural lessons. Teachers and substitutes in the 2000s consider it a go-to movie to spark discussion about social history, teamwork, and racial integration. The story highlights how people with differences can come together and succeed, making it perfect for classroom lessons. It tackles themes like overcoming prejudice, breaking down barriers, and learning to work as one, showing that unity is stronger than fear and hate. The film's enduring educational use has been widely acknowledged. ESPN's 2020 oral history of the film highlighted how it continues to help young people reflect on the challenges of desegregation and the importance of leadership in the classroom. Now I know you love this video, so be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe so that you always know when we upload another one. If you've got any recommendations, leave them in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.